Hi everyone, my name is Katy Massey and I studied at the University of Birmingham from 2006 to 2011. I studied a BA in modern languages and I chose to study German and Italian. And I then went on to specialise working in the education sector and then furthermore into girls' rights and gender equality. So I am now a consultant in girls' rights and human rights. And I do that both as an independent consultant for myself and I work for various charities and NGOs as well. So I knew while I was studying the language degree that what I really wanted to do was work with children and young people. And I wasn't sure whether that would have been becoming a language teacher or in another capacity. And it was actually my role in Kids Adventure, so the society through the Guild, that really solidified for me that working with children who are facing significant challenges, whether that was in their education or at home, that was really what I was passionate about. And so I came out of my undergrad and got a role with a training provider. And it kind of almost immediately started another degree at Warwick, a teaching degree that I was doing part-time alongside working for this training provider. And so I became qualified to teach apprenticeships in early years and play work. So I was training people how to work with children and traveling all over the Midlands to do that, to go into settings like nurseries and after school clubs and train people like on the job. Through that, really recognised again that the young people that were in my classes that were really struggling were the ones that needed the most attention, you know, to kind of help them engage in their education, but there was often not enough time or capacity to be able to do that. And so I knew I wanted to specialise more into kind of youth work and then eventually move into trauma work. So I then got a role at a national charity, an NCS provider, the National Citizen Service provider. So then for a couple of years, I was running social action projects and programmes for young people all over the country, which I loved. That was about getting young people engaged in their communities and doing social action projects and campaigns. After that, I kind of thought, I'm not really sure where I want to go next. And an opportunity came up for me to travel for a little while. I had some family getting married in Australia. And so I took a sabbatical. And it might have seemed quite early on in my career to be taking a sabbatical at the age of kind of 24, 25. But I'd been in academia up until I was 24. You know, I kind of finished my undergrad and then I went straight into my teaching postgrad and working alongside it. And so I thought, actually, I'll take this break. So I took a year out, went travelled around Australia and worked and nannied. And then an opportunity came up to go to Kenya and work at a school in Kenya for 6 months. So I did that, just booked a one-way ticket and got myself over there. And that was really where I recognised that there was a huge gap in my knowledge of what actually makes a difference in the world. So I came back from Kenya and thought, okay, well, I know I want to do a master's at some point. I don't know when that will happen, but I found a course at UCL and it was on my vision board. And I thought, okay, that will happen one day. And in the meantime, I moved to Bath and I was there for about 5 years running a youth mentoring programme. So that was an early help service that supported children and young people with anything that they might kind of want or need support with. So that could have been any kind of family breakdown or issues, challenges, domestic violence. Alongside that, I also worked for another charity in domestic violence. So I ran youth groups for young people who had experienced or witnessed domestic violence. In 2019, I thought, okay, this is it. This is the year. I'm gonna move into the international sector. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. And thought, okay, well, I'll apply for the masters and start in September 2020. So I started writing my application, and then obviously the whole world changed when the pandemic arrived. And I thought, okay, can I move to London and start a master's and change my job in the middle of a pandemic? I don't know if that's a good idea, but I had a great mentor at the time who said to me, well, if not now, then when? Because we don't know what's going to happen with this pandemic. You know, we've never been in this before, we don't know, and if you can make it happen, then find a way. And I did, and I'm so grateful to that mentor to have kind of nudged me. So I moved to London, and for a year I was the pastoral lead at a girls' school. So when that role ended, I'd already started my master's, and I'm doing it over 5 years. So my master's is in education, gender and international development. For about the last 16 months, I've worked for the global NGO Plan International UK, which is a charity focusing on children's rights and equality for girls. I work there part-time, and my role there is to run a UK-wide professionals network to convene the girls sector. So any organisation, academic, activist or individual that works with or for girls in the UK can join this network. It's called the Girls' Rights Collective UK. And I put on networking events, training sessions. I've just built a virtual platform. Alongside that, I run a consultancy business. So I recognised in the last kind of 2 or 3 years that I had lots of transferable skills, and that those are skills that people want and need, but not necessarily need them full time, for you to be there full time in a role, but actually need it more of as a consultant or an advisory role. So I founded a consultancy business, and I've had kind of various clients. But really what I do with my consultancy is look at vision and strategy and operations of an organisation and say, okay, so where are you now and where do you want to be, and what's the difference in between, and how do we kind of get you from where you are to where you want to be. So my first client was an amazing charity in Zimbabwe that was founded to ensure that girls in rural areas had access to education. My most recent client was an amazing organisation called Doulas Without Borders, who work with pregnant women and birthing people who are in kind of facing significant hardship. So predominantly people in the asylum system or victims of modern slavery, domestic violence and human trafficking. And alongside that, I offer professional mentoring to individuals who are looking to either get into the charity sector or change their role in the charity sector, but they're not really sure how to do it, how to network, who to speak to. Sometimes it's practical things about the best way to, write your CV or write a cover letter, and interview skills. And I do work on values and vision as well. I do my own doula consultancy too. So I work with women and birthing people, both voluntarily and with private clients too. And lastly, I've just founded an initiative called the Honesty Club, which is to support activists with their well-being. Because I recognise, both in myself and in lots of my peers and my colleagues, that when you work in this field, whether that's in any element of human rights really, or charity work, we often do it because we really care and we're really passionate. But the flip side of really caring and being that passionate is that it can lead to burnout if we don't look after ourselves, because the issues that we're working with never go away. So for example,